The National Assembly on Monday heard from the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs of the Gambia as he tabled the 2023 budget estimates, projecting the total revenue and grants to reach $31.48 billion. Minister C.D. M. Keita reveals this while submitting the estimates of revenues, current and development expenditures for fiscal year 2023 at the fourth ordinary session of the National Assembly on Monday for consideration and approval. Moses Imendi has the details of that in this report.
2023 is set to be a year of increase in both revenue and expenditure figures of the Gambia in the estimated budget of 2023. The total revenue and grants is projected to jump from $26.59 billion in 2022 to $31.48 billion in 2023. Likewise, the total expenditure and net lending. Total expenditure and net lending are projected to increase by 13%, rising from $31.18 billion in 2022 to $35.41 billion in 2023. The Gambia's Finance and Economic Affairs Minister C.D. M. Keita explains reasons for the swelling of both revenue and expenditure figures as compared to 2022 at the fourth ordinary session of the National Assembly, also referred to as the budget session.
Honorable Speaker, the proposed fiscal operation for 2023. Total revenue and grants for 2023 is projected to reach $31.48 billion, which represents a growth of 18% over the 2022 figure of 26.59. The increment is mainly attributed to estimated increase in tax revenue, budget support grants, and non-tax revenues. Project grants is estimated to reach $11.83 billion compared to $9.66 billion in 2022, whereas non-tax revenue is projected to be at 2.97 compared to 2.2 in 2022. Meanwhile, tax revenue is also projected to marginally increase by 1.5% to 13.92 compared to 13.66 in 2022. The 2023 budget will factor budget support to the tune of $2.77 billion from our development partners compared to $1.07 billion in 2022. The bulk of the support is expected to come from the World Bank, $20 million, European Union, $13 million, AFD, Agence Française de Développement, $2 billion, and the African Development Bank, $7 million, respectively. Honorable Speaker, expenditures and financing. Total expenditure and net lending are projected to increase by 13.5%, rising from $31.18 billion in 2022 to $35.41 billion in 2023. The increase is mainly driven by increases in other expenditures, which are projected to increase by $3.77 billion in 2023, or 13% growth.
The Gambia is not endowed with many natural resources, and apart from significant earnings from tourism and agriculture, the country largely depends on taxation to raise much needed revenue. There is hope that 2023 will be more productive in comparison to 2022, with the agriculture sector expected to continue on the growth path, reaching 6.6% in 2023, primarily supported by crop production, fishing, and aquaculture. While the growth prospect for the industry sector is estimated to increase to 6.9% in 2023, up from 6.0% in 2022, mainly supported by electricity, mining, and quarrying activities. On the service sector, recovery in tourism, transport and storage, finance, and insurance will enhance growth, with the sector growth projected to reach 4.0% in 2023 from 2.4% in 2022. Gambians must have felt some relief hearing that inflationary pressure is expected to ease by next year in response to the tight monetary policy stance of the Central Bank of the Gambia and an easing of global supply chains. Critics say the Gambia's health and education sectors are the most broken in the country. The 2023 budget therefore identified the two sectors as priority areas.
While striving for equilibrium and avoiding dislocation within our fiscal space, the 2023 budget aims to stimulate economic recovery through practical and tangible support to all sectors of the economy. The budget also reaffirms our national commitment to leave no one behind by enhancing our social protection response programs in collaboration with the development partners. As earlier mentioned, the 2023 budget will place emphasis on social service delivery. This will include additional expenditure in priority areas such as education and health, and for that, drugs and medical supplies for our hospitals across the country, vaccine for the infants, and the rehabilitation of major health centers across the country. The largest allocation of the recurrent expenditure is to the education sector, followed by the health sector. This is necessary to build and sustain the human capital of the country.
The tabling of the 2023 budget estimates before the National Assembly is in accordance with the mandates of the 1997 Constitution and the Public Finance Act of 2014. The National Assembly is thereby expected to consider and approve the budget estimate over the next 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the legislators are expected to regroup at the Parliament on November 23rd and 24th for consideration, scrutiny, and debate on the 2023 budget estimates. Moses Imendi reporting.